Welcome to the top 10 most anticipated comics for January 11th, 2023. Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. It's another year for most anticipated comics. Hopefully this list helps you make decisions of what comic books to buy, because you know what? It's never too early to start that list for next week. Before we jump into it, guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to Whatnot. There is a link in my description box below. When you create an account for yourself and you make a purchase, you can get yourself $15 off of that first purchase. So it's definitely a win-win. Why not take advantage of it? There's a comic book you want out there, follow an auction, save yourself 15 bucks on it. So check out Whatnot, guys. Create an account today. Again, the link is in the description box below. All right, so here we go. Let's kick off this New Year's most anticipated with the book that's on the hot seat, and this one goes to Carnage. This is issue 9. Carnage is an up and down series for me. This is written by Ram V, and his writing for me is a very acquired taste. It's like Venom is off and on. Carnage lately has been off and on. Detective Comics I just didn't like from the start. It's just the writer, right? And I like the concept of this book where Carnage is on his own. He doesn't have a host. He's powering up using different villains' superpowers. And this book started off like super strong, right? But now it's been stalling, and it looks like, you know, based off of what happened in the last issue, we had this random issue with this kid in the house that was destroyed, this orphanage, right? That I guess Cletus grew up in and whatnot, and it was just dumb. It just took away from the main story, and it looks like this issue we're getting, you know, back on track once again. But where are we going with this story, right? It's like Venom took the codex of Malekith because he possessed a Venom symbiote. Like, what's going on here, right? I need more. And I feel like if this book does not deliver in the next 1 or 2 issues, I'm probably going to drop it. One of my New Year's Day goals was to not hold on to comic series as long. If I find that it's a chore getting through it or I'm not enjoying it, I'm going to drop it, because I read a lot of comic books and there's room for other ones to try. So that's one of my goals. I'm going to leave that video at the end of this one so you guys can check out some of the other goals that I have in mind for the new year. This book is 28 pages and this one's $4. Next, the book that's on the rise is Miles Morales' Spider-Man. This is issue 2, Trial by Spider Part 2. The first issue was actually good, and that's why this book is on the rise for me. We get to see a cool little battle between Scorpion and Miles Morales, and it's kind of funny because it's like Scorpion wasn't giving Miles the time of day, and Miles was kicking his ass, which was really nice. The artwork is absolutely beautiful in this comic book, and the thing that this has got going for it already is that there's a villain, a new villain that's being built up, and I think it's going to pop up here very soon, and that's what Miles needs. It needs a rogue gallery as its own, and not relying on Spider-Man's rogues gallery to carry him, because it's just not the same, right? So hopefully this will continue to pick up, and we get to see also, I think Misty Knight is going to make her appearance here, and she's going to be like the mentor here for Miles Morales going forward, and not really Peter. So again, a little bit of a different direction. The first issue was nothing different that I never read before when it came to Miles. Very similar in some ways from the last volume, but as long as it continues in a positive direction and there's something different, then I'm going to stick with it. Legacy numbering 284, 28 pages, $4. So now let's officially kick off the countdown with number 10. And number 10 goes to Ghost Rider issue 10. So this is the conclusion to the story arc where we get to see Ghost Rider team up with Talia Warroad, and they're going to be going against Exhaust, which was kind of a manifestation of Ghost Rider himself. We get to see Blackheart behind the whole ordeal and what's going on here too. It's a very demonic like comic book, supernatural. It's very entertaining. I think Benjamin Percy has done a phenomenal job with this series. I definitely can't wait to see how this story arc concludes and where this series go after this. So this is legacy numbering 253, 36 pages, $5. So now we move on to number 9. And number 9 is Daredevil. This is issue 7. This has been an interesting story. It seems like a slow buildup, very much like the first volume of Chip Zdarsky's run of Daredevil, where here we have Daredevil and Elektra. They're married. They're part of the Fist. They're I guess, releasing prisoners or bad guys from prison to go on their island to give them a second chance at life to maybe rehab themselves. And let's just say Marvel's greatest superheroes are not keen on this idea, and it looks like that probably Elektra and Daredevil are going to be going against the Marvel universe here because they just don't believe in their actions. So this book is legacy numbering 655, 28 pages, $4. All right, next we move on to number 8. And here we go, guys. DC's big thing of 2023. We have Lazarus Planet Alpha issue 1. Another one of my goals this year is to cut down not on the events, but on the event tie-ins. And there seems to be a lot of tie-ins when it comes to this, I guess, this series or this event. And I feel like this event is going to be huge for DC. I am so scared for them because I know a lot of people are so hard on them this year. They have had a handful of great titles last year, and I want them to build upon that, not go down the toilet even more. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is a good event, but when I read this and I see this just reminds me of Inhumans, but in the DC side of things, right? You get a volcano that freaking erupts, it creates the Lazarus goo all over the place, and it's going to change our superheroes. That's what the Terrigen Mist is when it comes to changing, people that have the Inhuman gene in them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. It's a 48-page comic for $6. Let's move on to number 7. We have Something That's Killing the Children, issue 28. You want to see things that are starting to heat up in Erica Slaughter's life. Holy cow, man. She's doing battle against Cutter. And Cutter is kind of like the bounty hunter that chases after people that are no longer worthy to serve the house. And she's fleeing from this character. And there's this other creature that has been murdering kids and people at the same time that Erica Slaughter's been trying to solve. And things are just been insane for her. Her back is against the wall in this issue, pretty much in this entire volume so far, or not this volume, this story arc, and it's been tough. So I can't wait to see when Cutter arrives, how she's going to confront her and what she's going to do. It's going to be great, dude. It's a great series. So this one is $4. Coming in at number 6 now, we have Gunslinger, issue 16. Artwork by Booth is absolutely awesome. And this story, we're dealing with Gunslinger's origin. We're continuing that. That's what seems what's going on here. It's a shame because I could not get my hands on issue 15. For some reason, my shop either got shorted on them, never got them in, but when I went to the shop, it wasn't there, and I haven't been able to get a hold of an issue 15. So hopefully I can find one to find out what happened on the last issue, or I'll have to read it online. But yeah, this has to deal with the origin of Gunslinger. Love this story. Love this character. One of my favorite comics of 2022. This book is $2.99. Moving forward now to number 5, we have Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo. This is another great book by Silvestri. The artwork is gorgeous in here. We have Batman, we have the Joker. They're teaming up with each other, and they're doing battle against these Jokers that have been cloned, and they I don't know, man. You kill them and they heal. There was like a piece of tooth that went into Batman's like freaking shoulder in the last issue, and now they're analyzing it, and it's like growing in the test tube, and it's gonna like grow itself into another Joker like creature. It's so weird, man. And Harley Quinn is like captured and stuff. Like that's been fun. I really enjoyed this, but again, this seems like a simpler time for Batman, and I really enjoy that. And just looking at every page of this artwork, it's just a treat, man. Okay, 32 pages and $5. All right, coming in at number 4, we have Dark Ride, issue 4. Great series here by Joshua Williamson. As one of his things that he's always wanted to do was create an amusement park, and he's gotten to do this in comics, and he's created this horror-themed amusement-like park, and the creator has basically sold its soul to the devil to get rides, to bring people, to create greed, and it's just been a wild ride, no pun intended here. And in this issue, we're going to get to see actually what the deal with the devil was. Like, we get to see that whole thing revealed, and that's what we've been waiting for after the first 3 issues, and this is also the end of the story arc. So now we get to see the heirs of the Empire on what decisions they're going to have to make. Are they going to side with their dad, or are they going to go with their dad, or are going to take over the park? Like, this is a very interesting book. I have so many questions. There's a mystery here that has to do with a person that works in the park who got murdered also, and she is looking for her brother. There's a lot of things going on in this comic. A great book. If you haven't checked out Dark Ride, I don't know if you can find back issues on the shelf at this point. You'll have to wait for the trade. So next, another great independent comic book coming in at that number 3 spot. We have Spec. This is issue 3. So this book is awesome. What has to do with these X-ray glasses that you would find in advertisements in comic books back in the old days in the 80s. These glasses actually showed up to these kids' house, and they put them on, and they started wishing for things, and things went in their favor, right? But when things have not gone in their favor and they wished away a particular bully, things have gone wrong, dramatically wrong. And this is a phenomenal book that does not only have to deal with these glasses, but it has to do with relationships. It has to do with the times back in the 80s. Just really awesome storytelling here. Great balance. $3.99 comic book. Coming in at number 2, you'll be surprised at this. This is Dark Web, Mary Jane, and Black Cat issue 2. I feel like the only thing that's been really, I think, interesting out of the Dark Web thing so far is been Mary Jane that has powers. Like, where does she get those powers from? And the Gold Goblin series. Like, those 2 series, like, these seem to be the best out of it. When it comes to the main story of Amazing Spider-Man, there's no substance there. There's like no depth. It's like Ben Reilly, my memory's back. But what else is there besides that, right? And same thing with Madeline Pryor. She's like, I'm jealous because Jean Grey has everything. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. You're the queen of the freaking limbo now. Like, just deal with that shit, you know? And it just seems like nothing is happening in that main story. Miss Marvel book is worthless, and the only thing that got my interest here is Mary Jane, because maybe whatever's going on with her has to do with why her and Peter are broken up. And then the Gold Goblin story is really good because it just dives deeper into Norman Osborn's psyche and how he's dealing with everything. So when it comes to Mary Jane and Black Cat 2, Jed MacKay is a great writer. I feel like he writes Black Cat phenomenally. He's had so many more layers to that character. And with Mary Jane by her side, I think that's awesome here. I know some people probably disagree with me when it comes to the whole Mary Jane situation on her having powers. Like, what's the point of it? It's just out of the realm here. But I'm definitely looking forward to the continuation of this book. So after number 1, we are not done, guys, as I will be discussing the noteworthy comic books because, you know, there's only 10, 11, 12 books on here, and you might not get all those. So I want you to know about some more books that are coming out. So what's number one for the new year? You guys got to buy this book. I'm telling you, if you never read the original volume, you're going to love this book. This is Nemesis Reloaded. This is issue 1, Mark Miller, Jorge Jimenez. Guys, okay, look at Batman as just pure evil. That's what Nemesis is. He's a millionaire, billionaire. He's got all the money in the world, but instead of saving people, he kills people for fun. And I read the first series. Man, oh man, I want to say, I don't know if it was like 2010, 2009, 2008, somewhere in that time frame is where Nemesis came out, and I was freaking blown away by it. This book is for mature readers only. I mean, this book is intense, over the top. You're going to want to actually read this book. I'm telling you, there's actually a warning, and it says too violent and too cool for some. Pick this book up, guys. $3.99. Oh, here are noteworthy comic books getting ready to come out. Dark Web Amazing Spider-Man issue 17, not in the top 10 anymore. Just nothing going on in that series right now. It's just spinning. It's all, that's all it is, and I'm so disappointed in that. Hopefully things pick up with it. There's great artwork, but that's all it's really got going for it. Next, Dark Web Miss Marvel issue 2. I mentioned it earlier. It's just a waste. It's a waste to me. All right, next we have Moon Knight issue 19. We have X-Men issue 18. This story is all about Sync. I'm sorry, if you guys like Sync, that's great. My thing is the dude is too OP, right? He's like Rogue, but doesn't suffer any of the consequences of absorbing other people's powers. He could be anything. He could beat anybody. Like, he's too OP for me. So I'll still read it though. All right, next we have Wolverine, issue 29. Then we have Flash, issue 790. Continuing with DC, we have Batman Urban Legends, issue 23. Then we have Wildcats, issue 3. Batman, The Adventure Continues, season 3, issue 1. Next, we move on to a few of the independents. We have Grimm, issue 7. We have Spawn Unwanted Violence, issue 1. So we have another Spawn book, but it's a mini-series. Then we have a book from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, which is really good. 10,000 Black Feathers, issue 5. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics and my noteworthy comics for January 11th, 2023. Gotta get used to saying that. And of course, guys, don't forget to pow that like button and pow that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you'll miss any content from me. And if you love my content, like I said, I'm leaving that video up where it has to deal with my 2023 collecting goals. Of course, guys, keep buying, keep collecting, and as always, read your comics. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.